Hello again. This is the Marx Engels Lenin Institute back with you with a video today, which is going to feature a discussion and a little bit of talk about some wider perspectives as well, perhaps with a comrade from Germany, Max, who's joined us today. And Max is here to talk about the upcoming conference that's going to be taking place in Berlin from the 6th to 8th of October. That's next month. Which is a congress devoted to discussion of anti-imperialist perspectives in the international communist movement. So, Max, welcome along. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having us. We are always following your work keenly, so thanks for having us on.
Well, good for you to come on here, and a very important congress that's coming up in Germany in a couple of weeks' time. So, can you just outline to us the nature of the Congress and the kind of debates and speakers that you're going to be having on there?
All right, sure. So, it's the second time that we're organizing this kind of Congress. We're calling it the Communism Congress. It's organized and hosted by the Communist Organization in Germany. And as you said, this year's Congress is going to be about anti-imperialism and the national struggle for liberation today and its relation to the international class struggle. So, we are very excited for this year's Congress because especially we do have a very international sort of guests and speakers. There will be 22 speakers all in all, from people from Palestine, Russia, South Africa, China, Greece, Great Britain. So we think that we'll be able, or at least we'll try to really get a grip of the historical moment that we are living in, and to establish a better understanding of this kind of historical moment, and especially the struggles that are ongoing worldwide. I'll say a little bit more on the background later, but just on the concrete Congress, maybe we do have speakers, for example, from the Socialist Revolutionary Workers' Party, Vashna Jagannath, who is going to talk about the situation in Africa. We're very interested, of course, to understand the situation in Western Africa right now. She's also involved in the Pan-Africa Today movement, and but also going to say something about the role of South Africa, of course, concerning the BRICS and the struggles there. We have a guest, Alexei Albu. I think you have already featured it in your channel, who is from Borodba, from Russia, who is going to talk about the struggle of the Donbas region in Ukraine and the ongoing war against Russia. We do have Jody Bra from the Communist Party of Great Britain, Marxist-Leninist, who's going to be there, also taking part in the panel. And Dimitrios Patelis, for example, also going to be there, who is involved in the World Anti-Imperialist Platform, and so on, many more. We have three main panels, so to say, that are also going to lead us through a discussion that we try to build collectively. The first one is going to be about like the current situation in the imperialist order. How do we assess the ongoing dynamics and changes that are obviously ongoing? How do we see the role of the US imperialism, but also maybe the role of Germany especially, but also Western European countries inside this US dominated order? The second panel is going to be about more to understand the relation between national liberation movements, anti-imperialist struggles, and the movement for socialism in a whole. And this is probably the most important starting point for the Congress. So to really build on this interconnection between national liberation struggles and the struggle for socialism, because obviously what we can see, it's not only that the war against Russia has split the communist movement internationally, or made but also that the struggles that we see, for example, in Western Africa, in Niger, or in Venezuela, or wherever, are not really deeply connected with the communist and progressive movements here. There's a lot of work that is ahead of us, and we try to like contribute to building these international relations, to build an understanding of the struggles, a deep understanding, and so on. Maybe just a short glimpse of what's going to happen. Yeah.
Yes, I think as you were implying in your answer, Max, it comes at an important time, this particular Congress, because it seems to me that we're at a moment of the need for rebirth in the communist movement, both Europe-wide and globally, at a similar moment to perhaps 1914 to 15, when Lenin and his comrades had to reassess following the betrayals of the Second International, and also the imperialist order erupted into continental-wide violence of war. Now we see splits over the debates over the nature of the Russian special military operation, over the nature of imperialism within the communist movement. We see splits emerging inside the European communist movement, with some parties going one way, some parties going the other. So clearly, we need a more thorough understanding of imperialism in this moment. And also that for us as Europeans, even though we've, of course, left the EU now, but for especially like those countries like Germany, where there's a lot of debates now around German sovereignty or lack of, and the nature of the ongoing US occupation, not just of Germany, but of Europe, then that debate over, well, what exactly is the struggle in Europe right now? How is it connected to those struggles in Africa that you mentioned? These are all incredibly important debates, and I think that the communists must raise our voice in these debates, because if not, then the working class is going to be pushed by the bourgeoisie towards the dead end of so-called right-wing populism, which you've got in Germany with the AfD, which we've had in Britain with various different forces, which you see with Meloni in Italy. Though I think that the ruling class clearly wants to shove workers towards this the dead end of the right wing. So the communists, we need to rebuild ourselves, and having these debates and politically rearming ourselves is incredibly important, I think.
No, I totally agree. And yeah, like as you said, the situation in Germany, as in Britain, I guess, and in the imperialist countries in a whole, is a very difficult and complicated one. Like we have been in Germany, we have most of the so-called left and also communist organizations that have effectively taken the side of NATO imperialism. You know, their main job seems to be demonizing Russia. This is mainly what they do, and they totally follow up with the narrative of the Russian aggression in Ukraine, and all of this happening at the same time while we have a massive militarization, a massive armament, and obviously in hot war against Russia, and then already in preparation for an escalation against China. So it's a deeply troubling deeply troubling situation that we have, and obviously the opposition against the imperialist camp is very very weak. Yeah, also what you said about the role of Germany, maybe this is also definitely going to be part of our discussion, like the question of in what way or to what degree is Germany actually acting sovereign in relation to the US imperialism. This is a very important question when we're looking at, okay, what are the kind of demands that we are rising? What are the struggles that we try to build, the movements that we try to build? And obviously, the right wing is well organized and is also gaining from a general rehabilitation of fascism that we also can see in Germany with the war against Russia. There's just recently the SS veteran in the Canadian Parliament that probably most of you have seen, and these things are like happening on a daily basis, pretty much. So there's yeah, there's dangers definitely that we have to face, and we need to understand better. So yeah, this is different difficult tasks for the communist and the progressive movements. And yeah, our aim is very much orientated towards these struggles. You know, we don't want to lead debates and discussions from an academic perspectives, of course, but rather want to understand, okay, how do we rebuild our movement? You know, how do we actually build it on a international scale? And yeah, this is a very important task, since there's not a lot of opposition against NATO with a clear stance against this war against Russia. For example, also the trade unions in Germany, probably the same with Great Britain, are very much integrated into this NATO system. Just recently, some days ago, the second largest union in Germany also voted on the National Congress for the and support for the delivery of weapons to Ukraine. So yeah, this is what we're having ahead of us, you know. But on the same time, of course, we do see, and with great interest and excitement, some opposition on a worldwide scale against this imperialist order of the yeah, U.S. imperialism and G7 states. So we try to build on that, and do see very much that we really need to understand the situation comprehensively and concrete, like in details. Like general phrases won't help us, you know. Right. So this is probably where we're aiming at with the Congress. Yeah.
Yes, certainly. And the situation with regards to trade unions in Britain is, of course, absolutely no better. All of the trade union federations in Britain, in England, and in Scotland have all voted in favour of continued support for the war against Russia. And the trade union bureaucracy here is, as I think is the case in Germany, completely incorporated into the British state's management system. So, as I think is the case in Germany too, our trade union leaders are not there to lead struggles. They are there to manage the struggles of workers in a way that is acceptable to the ruling class. And that is, of course, why the leaders of the trade union movement completely agree with the British ruling class on the need to make a war on Russia. And they will agree with the need to make a war on China as well. It's disgraceful behavior, but they haven't changed since World War I, so why would they change now? So, Max, with regard to the Congress, where's the best place people can get information about this then?
Yeah, please visit our website. It's Organisation.de. Maybe you can put a link somewhere or something.
Yes.
Well, obviously it's going to be in Berlin. I don't know if some of your listeners are also from Berlin, then we of course you're happily invited to join in, but we're also going to live stream some of our panels. At least the opening one is also going to be in English. The other ones are unfortunately going to be in German. We do have English lectures like all through the Congress, so also English speaking crowd is very welcomed and able to understand what's going on. And yeah, but also I think it's very interesting for us to build this relation, and for you and your audience maybe to see what's going on here, what we are trying to build up and discuss. And we hope to build on this in the future.
Yes, certainly. It'll be good to have yourself and some other German comrades back on the program for a more extensive discussion in the future with regard to the situation in Germany, because obviously Britain and Germany are two major parts of the imperialist system still. So I think we could learn a lot from a discussion in the future.
Thank you.
Okay.
Definitely.